Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Real Heroes Show. Cory here with Kevin as always. And Kevin, how are you doing this lovely, dreary Florida morning?
This rainy ass Florida morning. You know, it's great, Cory. Just makes me want to stay inside and record videos.
That's what we do. And you know, we're here with a mouthful today, and that mouthful is Contessa, Valentina, Allegra, de Fontaine, which I think she might be in the running for longest name in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Probably so. Just call her Val though, but don't call her that. Just keep it in your head.
And you know, you can't really call her because her business card is blank on both sides.
Which is the craziest and also coolest thing ever. It's like, yeah, here's my card. Yeah, I think it was a business card. It's just a fucking card.
You know those charts that are like chaotic evil, chaotic neutral, or whatever. Like she's just chaotic. I think is the energy that I get.
That's what it seems like for sure.
Yeah. So in today's video, we're gonna try to do our best to explain a little bit about where she comes from, why she's important to the Marvel Comics, and how she could possibly fit into the MCU, because we didn't really expect this character to pop up. We also absolutely didn't expect the actor who's playing her to pop up, and I think the actor more than the character makes us feel like she's not going away anytime soon, and she's gonna be pretty important.
She's gonna be here for a while.
So so going back, you know, in early history of the character, she was a SHIELD agent, apparently. I think Russian. Was she Russian?
She did end up in Russia, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure where she came from originally, but she did work for a Russian spy agency, so I'm assuming that was her place of origin. Super
spy, and that could tie into Black Widow. It hasn't been confirmed by Marvel, but some of the Hollywood trades have suggested that her character was first supposed to appear in the Black Widow movie, which comes out in July. We don't know if she's still going to be part of that or not. This could have been a replacement for that. Who knows? But yeah, during her time with SHIELD, romantically linked to Nicholas J. Fury, which is pretty interesting because he seems like a relatively emotionless guy.
We may know why now.
We might, and it might not just be a flirkin that broke his heart. It could be a lady too. So
yeah,
pretty interesting stuff there. You know,
yeah, I mean, they go way back. Her introduction was in 1967, so yeah, you know, she's been there since close to the beginning of all of this. Just kind of lurking in the background. She's one of those characters where when they introduce her, you go, well, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, she's been there the whole time. She can actually tie all of this shit together in some weird kind of way.
Right.
But you also didn't see it coming. I didn't.
And it also makes sense how she kind of seems to know everything. She knew that John Walker had taken the super soldier serum. She knows that Captain America's SHIELD isn't really owned by the government. She knows there are people that are interested in John Walker and his powers now. So if you were looking at it at first glance, you'd be like, who is this lady and why does she know everything? Well, she's been around for a long time, lurking in the shadows. She's not a newcomer to this universe. We just necessarily haven't seen her yet. So
lurking like a flirkin.
Yeah, man. Other aliases that she's gone by, Agent 14, which is interesting because in the MCU, Sharon Carter was first known as Agent 13. So that's an interesting thing. I don't think sequential order would work there because she's obviously been around a little bit longer than Sharon Carter. At one point in the comics, she showed up as Madame Hydra, which I don't know what your take is on that, but you know, given the context of the Captain America world and how much Hydra has been a part of the MCU, that could be an interesting one.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and it probably tells you, if not exactly what her plans are, then kind of her a little bit about her character.
Yeah, could be good, could be bad, could be a little bit of both. to steal a line from Peter Quill at the end of the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. She's got dead parents, which is always a hell of a motivator for people in the superhero world. So I don't really know. Was there anything else historically that we had discussed that was big? I think, didn't you say something about the European folks?
Yeah, so when she was working for Shield, she was based in the UK for a while, and so she had ties to guys like Union Jack and Captain Britain. Mm-hmm. Which there have been some rumors about Captain Britain coming to the MCU. This wouldn't be an entirely unexpected way to introduce him. Considering we're dealing with all the captains right now, so throw another one on the fire. So she worked over there for a little while. It was revealed eventually that she was actually a Russian spy infiltrating SHIELD. And she really worked for an organization called Leviathan.
Right. And
Leviathan is, it's probably just as bad, or at least as nefarious as Hydra was. And it's a little bit mysterious too. And so from what I've dug up, Leviathan actually had ties to the Red Room, which is more than likely why she was going to be introduced in the Black Widow movie. Yeah. And there are some folks who, and I think, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, I don't know that this was ever confirmed, but a lot of people assume that that's where she was trained, was in the Red Room.
Well, I mean, they say that she does best Nick Fury in hand-to-hand combat in the comics. So, obviously, the Red Room, they don't mess around when it comes to training their people. So that's
right.
That's pretty awesome. And the Captain Britain stuff, I know we like to make the Henry Cavill jokes a lot, but if that rumor is there, and you're looking for a character to help tie a lot of these properties together. This doesn't feel too different from the way that Nick Fury was introduced back in, I guess it was 2008 at the end of Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk, where he's putting together a team, and that team happens to be the Avengers. This kind of feels like it could be the dark version of that, whether it's a Dark Avengers or Thunderbolts or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe in an end credits stinger, whether it's at the end of Black Widow or the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier, where we're starting to see the formation of a team of bad guys, which I'd be super excited to see that. I don't know about you, but
I mean, I think that would be fantastic. We've already seen Batroc still alive and well.
Mm-hmm.
He's got ties to the Power Broker, which I kind of feel Contessa does too at this point.
Okay.
Then you're going to have John Walker, obviously. But in the comics, one of the things that Leviathan was trying to do was create super soldiers, but by using alien technology. So I'm curious how they're going to go with this. They've already shown a Skrull in one of the TV shows, right? WandaVision.
Yeah, WandaVision. Yep.
And then, weren't you telling me at one point in the comics, Contessa actually was a Skrull?
Yeah. So I don't know if it was that she was a Skrull or there was a Skrull impersonating her, but Contessa dies at the beginning of the Secret Invasion comic and turns out to be a Skrull, which tips off Nick Fury to the idea that there's an actual invasion happening, which, as it turns out, Disney is doing a Secret Invasion television show on Disney Plus, starring Nick Fury and Ben Mendelsohn as Talos, the lead Skrull. So, again, it's another thing that could tie another property back to all of this and keep it all together. So, we also know Nick Fury is working with the Skrulls because he's up on the spaceship in the end credits thing from Far From Home, where he's on vacation and can't find his shoes. All the Skrulls are working around him. So there's a lot going on there, and it could all tie together.
And if she's trying to create super soldiers, two things here. One, if the Contessa is trying to create super soldiers, and also the power broker was trying to create the super soldier serum, that could hint that they're one and the same. Also, that could indicate exactly why she wants to work with John Walker, because at least in the comics, once in a while, that can be transmitted by blood. Yes. So as we saw with Isaiah and Elijah Bradley. So we'll see. I mean, I think this is really a good setup for what comes next. We've been saying who's the big baddie, and we were thinking about somebody like Thanos.
Yeah,
but it could just be another Hydra that we're about to see, at least for the next little bit, until we get X-Men and Fantastic Four up and running.
True. This could be a way to stop the gap between those. And the one thing I wanted to bring up is that Marvel.com posted an official article, and I love these because I don't have to take it with a grain of salt like I do with a shit post on Reddit. This is legit stuff coming from the mouths of executive producers for these shows and movies. They talk about how it's a gift to work with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She's incredible. She's excited about being part of the world, bringing her comedy and her interesting beats into it and all that. But the interesting part is where it says, this is the beginning of the moral gray area for John Walker. They say it's the beginning of something. John is really excited because he is someone who needs to have a purpose. He needs to feel like he has a place in this world. He needs to feel like he has direction and ambition. There's a catharsis to that meeting for him. And then Nate Moore, who's one of the top execs for Marvel, he's an EP on almost every project they do. He says, whenever we talked about Valentina, even in the writer's room, she was more of a funnier but darker Nick Fury, someone who knows her secrets, who's not afraid to operate in the moral gray area, but maybe who isn't as inherently altruistic. And having a character like Valentina in the show and actually the MCU is really interesting. And this is the really great part, because I think she'll be making more waves sooner rather than later. So that's right from the horse's mouth. That's coming straight from somebody high up at Marvel saying, this is not the only time you're going to see her.
Right.
And not only is it not the only time you're going to see her, you're going to see her again soon. So I think that a lot of the projects that are happening right now, you're going to start to see little puzzle pieces come together of who she is and what she's doing and why it's important. But when they talk about moral gray area a lot, that to me sounds Thunderbolty, Dark Avenger.
Oh, sure.
So that part,
it also
super
also sounds like where Sharon Carter has been living right now too.
Quite a bit.
And if it turns out Val is a power broker, if Val is a power broker, Sharon Carter's working for her, then whatever team she's putting together, there's another candidate for that team right there.
Yep. And Zemo's still around. He's been taken to the raft by the Wakandans.
That's obviously nothing for Val to get people out of prison. So
yeah, and Zemo's not too bad at getting out of prison himself. So
true.
We could see that him be part of it, in the future. So really the moral of this story is that the possibilities are endless, and that Marvel has a plan. Go figure.
With every single episode we see, and I don't mean of this, I mean of Disney Plus stuff, with every episode that we see, it becomes more and more apparent to me just how planned out all of this was for a long time.
Yeah.
This wasn't just like they got to quarantine and we're like, fuck, we got to do some shit. Like, what are we going to do to fill the gap? That's not what happened. Like, this stuff has got to have been in the works for a long time, because it's a slow reveal, and it is so far pretty genius, really. It may not have been what we expected, and in some instances it might not have given us exactly what we wanted, but it's probably given us exactly what we needed.
Yep. It's like when Feige does those interviews and people say to him, how far out do you guys plan? And he's like, at any given time, we're working on 5 years from now.
Yeah.
And you're like, no way. That's impossible. But that's true. Like, they have a plan in place. They don't tell us about it because they don't want to build too much hype, or in case plans change or whatever. But they've got 5 years from today. So right now it's 2021. They've got 2026 on the front of their minds, which is incredible, and we're gonna enjoy the shit out of it for a very long time to come. But yeah, so I think that's a good place for us to stop. It gives you a little bit of a history on the character, a little bit of our thoughts as to where she may slot in the future. But we would definitely love to hear from you guys. Leave us a comment down below and let us know if you were familiar with this character before she was introduced in the show, where you think she might go, and if you're excited for that direction. Also, go ahead, like the video. If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button, turn on those notifications so that way you don't miss any of our future content. We have plenty of stuff coming down the pike. Obviously, the finale of Falcon and Winter Soldier is this week that we'll be reviewing. We're going to have a review for Mortal Kombat, some other films that are coming out soon, Bad Batch, Loki. The hits are going to just keep on coming. So definitely make sure to stay tuned. And for Kevin and myself, we will see you guys in the next video.